Yo, what's good with y'all? In today's video, I'm about to show you guys how to make the dash system from the Strongest Battlegrounds. I'm just go ahead and give y'all a disclaimer. This system, I mean, while you could modify it to work like exactly how the Strongest Battlegrounds work, it does not work 100% like the Strongest Battlegrounds. It's just kind of a little experimental, but it pretty much works for when you're using shift lock, right? Like, I'm gonna just show you guys shift lock real quick, just in case people are confused. This system, it works great when you're using shift lock. When you're not using shift lock, it's not that great. Shift lock is this: you have this on, and then you see you have the little arrow, yeah, or the cursor. Your cursor turns in like what are those things called? A reticle, yeah, that and stuff, right? So it works great there. So yeah, if you're not interested in people really only using it for shit when they're using shift lock, or if you know how to modify it, then we can continue and stuff. But yeah, let's get straight into the video. Okay, so first things first, let me insert a remote event into rep. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Let me say the main thing. Thank you guys so much for 2,000 subscribers. I haven't hit 2,000 subscribers yet, but I'm at the time I'm recording this, I'm about to hit it. So I'm like, look at this one. Go ahead and just pre-record this and stuff for y'all. I completely forgot. But anyway, thank you guys so much for 2,000 subscribers. I literally just hit 1,000 back in mid to like end June, and it's just the beginning of September. Thank you guys so much. It took me a year and a half to reach 1,000. Y'all got me to 2,000 in 2 months. So thank you guys to all of the love and support y'all have been showing me. Thank you to my channel members, my Discord subscribers, my regular Discord members, my regular YouTube subscribers. Thank you to every single one of y'all. I love every single one of y'all. The people in my Discord server who react to stuff when I post, like the reactions and stuff y'all react, and to the people or the people who also vote on the polls on YouTube and stuff. Thank you. And all the people who leave in the comments, I read every single comment. Well, you guys know that because I replied to all your comments. BS, I read everyone's comment, and I really do appreciate when y'all let me know, like, y'all are appreciative of my content and stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna stop talking out of stuff though, and I'm gonna get straight into the content though. All right, so first things first, let's go ahead and knock out the local script for the dash system. But before we do that, let's go ahead and get this remote event right. Let's get right with the remote event. So we're going to insert a remote event into replicated storage. You guys can name the remote event, let's do it just like before, dash event, right? Then in starter player script, you're going to insert a local script. You guys can name this dash script, in parentheses put local. Then delete print hello world. We're going to make quite a couple of variables. First things first, we're going to get the user input service. So local UIS is equal to game, get service, user input service. Then we're going to get the dash event. So local dash event is equal to game, the replicated storage, wait for child, dash event. Then I'm going to get the player variable. So local player is equal to game. Actually, I just remembered I don't need that anymore. I'm sorry, ignore that. We're going to then set up our own variables and stuff. So I'm going to set these variables up, then I'm going to explain them, because this system is much more complex than the regular dash system I made before. So I'm going to explain it. So just copy what I have and I'll explain. So we're going to say local QW is equal to false. Local QS is equal to, all these are set to false. So local QA is equal to false, and local QT is equal to false. I know you might be really confused right now. It's okay, I'm gonna explain. Okay, so if you're unaware, which you might be, so in the Strongest Battlegrounds, the way the dash system works, right? I know in most games it's just a regular, you just like, you just press like each dash direction has its own key. Nah, the system works in the Strongest Battlegrounds is Q is how you trigger the dash, and depending on the key you're holding down is the direction you're going to move in. So if you're holding down the W key, I know you hold W whatever to walk forward. So if you press Q while holding down W, or pressing it whatever, you're going to go forward. If you press Q while holding down S, you're going to go backwards. And then A, you're going to go to the left, D to the right. So that's what this is. Q, because you have to press Q along with the direction and stuff. Q is the trigger, because Q is how you trigger. The key behind Q is how you trigger the dash, but these are the directions, because you guys should see WSAD or W. It's usually WASD. That's usually the order, but I decided to go WSAD because I just wanted to keep all the directions like in order, like forward, backward, left, right, stuff. So yeah, so then we're going to set them to true when we try to dash in those directions and stuff. So I'm hoping that makes sense. If it doesn't, just leave comments down below, join the Discord server, and Roblox group links is in the description. You can ask some questions about that, get some help, and request videos and stuff. You can submit video requests and ideas. Anyway, moving on to the last variable. Local cooldown is equal to false. Now, I know a lot of people definitely want this. They definitely want a cooldown for their dash system and stuff, which of course makes sense. So I had to go ahead and implement that. So I'm going to set up, we're going to need two functions. First is the input began function. So UIS.input began connect function in parentheses put input, then comma processed enter, and then you're going to say if input.user input type is equal to enum, the user input type dot keyboard and processed is equal to false, which means the player is not typing in chat. And then we're going to use another if statement. If input.keycode is equal to enum.keycode. Remember, Q is my keybind for how I trigger the dash. And cooldown, of course, is set to false because we want to make sure the cooldown is that the player isn't currently on cooldown. Because as you guys know, in the Strongest Battlegrounds, there's a cooldown for the dash. And then I'm going to use a for IV in pairs loop. So I'm going to say for IV in pairs is going to do this a little differently than I normally do. I'm going to create a table, so special brackets, and then I'm going to say QW, QS, QA, QD, right? And then I'm going to say enter, and then I'm going to say if V is equal to true, pretty much is referring to the variable's value. If the variable's value is set to true, then cooldown is equal to true, because of course that means the player is using the dash. Then dash event fire server, right? And then I'm going to say task.wait 2.5. This right here is the cooldown duration. So if you want your cooldown to last for 3 seconds, put 3. If you want your cooldown duration to last for 5 seconds, put 5, and so forth. And then when the time is up, you're going to say cooldown equals false, right? And then we're going to set up the input ended functions, right? And then we can move on to the server side after this. Honestly, just not a lot of scripting, not gonna lie, especially compared to my other Strongest Battlegrounds videos. It's really not a lot of scripting, guys. So I'm gonna say UIS.input began connect function in parentheses put input comma processed enter if input that user input type is equal to enum that user input type dot keyboard and processed is equal to false enter if input.keycode is equal to enum.keycode.w, then QW is equal to false. If you don't understand what this pretty much means, this means when a player, I'm sorry guys, not input began, input ended, input ended, right? This pretty much means when the player stops holding down the key, right? So of course when they stop holding down the W key, you want to set the QW variable equal false, because that means the player is not currently holding down the key, which means they're not trying to dash in that direction. That's pretty much what that means. Then we're just going to use a bunch of else if statements. So else if input.keycode is equal to enum.keycode, and of course the next one was not slash, the S, then QS is equal to false. And then you can just copy and paste this, Control C, Control V just twice. And then of course, just change this to A, change this to A, and then change this to D, right? And then great news, guys, we are done on the client side. That's it. Didn't take long at all. So let's move on to the server side. Let's close out the local script and insert a server script into server script service. We can go ahead and name the script dash script in parentheses, put server. Then we can delete print hello world. We gotta make a couple variables, not that much. First things first, I'm gonna set up the dash mode event. So local dash event is equal to game that replicated storage. Wait for child dash event. Actually, I'm gonna get the debris service beforehand, so I'm gonna press enter. Just put a little space, right? So I'm trying to remember to get services first before remote events and stuff. But anyway, so we're going to use the debris service. I'm going to say local ds is equal to game get service debris, right? And I'm going to make 2 tables, but I already have these tables pre-made. The reason for that is because these are animation IDs. I obviously didn't feel like typing, trying to type these out in order I'm just not remembering these 2. I'm not going to try to remember. Just no. But anyway. So, I know it's a little confusing. I'm going to go ahead and explain it before I even get into the function. Okay, so the way this works is this. These correlate with each other. The numbers, let me explain this because I know this might get confusing. these all correlate with each other. All, like, literally these four and these four, they all correlate with the first, I mean, with the number, like the order they're in, I should say, right? What I'm saying is like this: QW, which means you're trying to dash to go forward. That's the first one. That's the first variable, right? It's the first variable amongst these four. So that means the first. Oh, by the way, in case you weren't aware, these are animation IDs. Just in case you guys weren't aware, all these are animation IDs. But anyway, so that means this, the first one, is the animation ID for the forward dash, right? And then, of course, down here for the dash C frame, that means the first one is how you dash to go forward. Because think about it, think about -20. Think about it on a coordinate grid, right? You know, wait, actually, oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, coordinate grid. So obviously Z isn't on a grid, but like you guys know X is left and right, Y is up and down, and Z is forward and backward, right? So you're trying to go forward. So negative. So you want to go negative, right? And then just as another example, QA. QA is how you go left, and that's the third variable, which means the third animation ID is what plays when you try to dash to the left. And that means this is the C frame for the third variable and stuff. You guys can mess around with the C frames to get whatever, like maybe you want to dash a little bit further, maybe you don't want to dash as far, maybe you want to move in two directions, like you want to move like maybe to the right and back a little. At the same time, you guys can mess around with the directions. Remember, X is left and right, negative X is to the left, positive X is to the right, Y is up and down, positive Y is up, negative Y is down, and then Z is forward and backward. Negative Z is forward and positive Z is backwards. And yeah, that's right. But yeah, so that pretty much explains these. The animation IDs I use, I think these are R15, I believe. Oh no, R6, sorry, R6. So these animation IDs will only work for R6. So you can get your own animation IDs. You can go to the toolbox. That's what I did. I don't make my own animation IDs. Credit to the people who made these animation IDs. I mean, who made the animations and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, but that's enough explaining. Now to get into the actual thing. So I'm gonna say dash event on server event connect function in parentheses. I'm gonna put PLR and I'm gonna put dash direction. Not gonna lie, I feel like I forgot to type something over here. I did. My fault, guys. You want to put I. Like that's literally what you want to put. You're just sending over the number because you're sending over you're sending up. I forgot what I is. What is I? What is I? I'm trying to think. That's, oh yeah, sorry. The dash direction. That's what it is. Yeah, the dash direction. Pretty much it's like this, right? They're in order for a specific reason. Like how this is the first one. You want these to correlate. Like make sure you have them all in order because pretty much it's like this. If I just press Q while holding down the W key, that means okay, I pressed the first, like that's the first variable within the table. So the number, my dash direction number is 1. So it's going to, the script is going to look at the table and it's going to say, what is the first animation ID in the table? This one. Okay, so that's the animation that we're going to play. What is the first C frame in the table? This is it. So I'm going to use this C frame. That's why it's important to make sure you put it in the right order. So you can say enter, make it variable for the player's character. Local character is equal to player dot character. Then you're gonna make the animation. So local animations, you can do instance dot new animation. Then you're gonna say animation, the animation ID is equal to quotation marks RBX asset ID colon 2 forward slashes dot dot dot, and then you're gonna say dash. Oh sorry, dash table. In regular brackets, you're gonna say that you're gonna put dash direction. It's pretty much easy. Going to search the table for the first for the dash direction value. So since if you're trying to go forward, your dash direction would be 1. So it's going to find the first one, which is of course this is the only one that's number 1. So it would go with this one, right? And then boom, just like that, we have our animation. We're not going to play it just yet though. I'm going to set up the linear velocity, which is how you create the actual dash effect. I'm going to say local attachment, create an attachment first, instance.new. Attachment, I'm going to parent it to the, alright, got the character. The character's humanoid root part, so character.humanoid.root part. And create a variable for the linear velocity. So local linear velocity is equal to instance.new. Oh, sorry. Linear velocity. And then you can parent it to the attachment. Then enter. Then we're going to set a couple of its properties after we finish creating the part. So the way my dash system works is I use a part to be able to tell which direction the player needs to move in, right? because the way it's supposed to work is the part will spawn in the like adjacent C frame, like the adjacent position the player is standing in, depending on the direction they're trying to move in. If that might be kind of confusing. Pretty much, if you're trying to move to go forward, the part is going to spawn, I believe, behind you, and then it's going to pretty much propel you from okay, that sounds wrong. It's going to propel you forward pretty much. That's the point. So then let's create the part, because we got a lot of properties to set. So local part is equal to instance.new part. We're not going to set its parent just yet. We're going to set up some properties. So part.anchored is set to true. We don't want it falling through the map. Then I'm going to say part.canCollide is set to false. We don't want players, you see, that's the thing. We don't want players to be able to we don't want players to, like run into like a brick wall with it. We don't want players to not be able to walk through it, but we don't want it to fall to the map, right? Then of course I'm going to set the transparency part. Our transparency is equal to 1. We don't want players to be able to see it. And then of course we're going to parent it to the workspace, right? So game the workspace, or you could do workspace, because I hear workspace is actually faster than game the workspace, but I don't know. But anyway, we're going to lastly set the most important thing, the C frame. So part.cFrame, similar to what we did with the animation, is equal to character.humanoid root part.cFrame times dash cFrame, right? Then parentheses dash direction, just like before. It's gonna get the corresponding number. Then I'm gonna set up the animation track. Local animation track is equal to character dot humanoid load animation. Then I'm going to play the animation track. So play. Then I'm going to set the property for the linear velocity. So linear velocity dot max force. You could just set this to like equal to, let's say like 99. Yes, there's a 5 nines, right? Then I'm going to set the vector velocity. So not vector velocity is equal to parentheses part dot position minus character dot humanoid root part dot position dot unit times vector 3 dot new 100 comma 0 100. You guys can also mess around with this number, with the vector 3 coordinate in general to see, see if maybe you change something, you'll get something you like. Then linear velocity dot attachment 0 is equal to attachment, hence why we created it. And the last thing we've got to do is just add it to the debris service. So this part is very important, because if you were to leave it for any longer, for like a long period of time, your player would just keep getting launched in that direction. You only want the player to be, you could say, hit by the effect one time. So ds add item, we're going to add the attachment. We're going to say for the duration 0.1 seconds or lifetime. Then ds add item, you're going to say part and 0.1 seconds as well. So that we are done, let's go ahead and test this. Let me drink some water real quick. As always, if you want access to my scripts or models in this video or any of my other videos, you guys can become a channel member. You can press the join button next to the subscribe button, or you can become my Discord subscriber and stuff. But yeah, so if I go ahead and press Q, nothing is happening. Okay, let's see what is wrong. What did I do wrong? I must have done something wrong. Okay, there's no problem. Let me see, what did I do wrong? There's no errors, which is, it's both good and bad, because it's like, if there's no errors, then it's like, I don't really know. Let's see. Oh my god. I know I was forgetting something. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I knew I was free. I'm like, I swear when I was here, I was like, I feel like there's more I'm supposed to do this function. I forgot the else if statements. Where is it? Like right, yeah, like right here. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. So sorry. Okay, so we're gonna create some else if statements, right? Similar to what we did on the input ended. You're gonna say else if input dot keycode is equal to enum dot keycode dot w, and then you're literally doing the opposite of what you did down there. So it's equal to true. You're setting all these values equal to true. You can just copy and paste this 3 more times, and then just just make sure you do it in the course. Well, actually no, you don't need it. Corresponding order doesn't matter, but just make sure you set them correctly. So QS, then A, ND. That's what it was. I completely forgot. Not gonna lie, guys. I'm so sorry. All right, now let's test this and see. All right, let me turn on my shift lock as you. Oh, okay, never mind. There we go. I was like, what did I? Now I know the animations may look a little weird. Honestly, the animations are a little, but like I said, I didn't make the animations. I just found them. You guys can replace them. You guys can replace the animations with whatever you want and stuff. So yeah, you guys can do that. But anyway, yeah. So this is how you make the dash system from the Strongest Battlegrounds and stuff. As always, if you guys need help, uh, just leave a comment in the description. Leave a comment in the description. Just leave a comment in the comment section. You can join my Discord server. Link is in the description if you guys need help. As always, if you guys want access to the scripts or models, you guys can join the Discord server. Link is in the description. Yeah. See you guys in the next video.